हरि बोल।
हरे कृष्णा पिताश्री।
हरे कृष्णा। आज तो आप जल्दी आ गए।
बस बिल्कुल आपसे पहले आ गए। हम अच्छे स्टूडेंट हैं आपके।
हाँ, लगता है सही है। मधु जी भी हैं।
मधु जी भी मेरे से भी पहले आ गए।
कमाल है। बहुत
बट
बढ़िया
म्यूट
बात।
पे है। बट म्यूट पे है माता जी, आप म्यूट पे हैं।
वो वो जब म्यूट पर थी तब भी उनकी आवाज सुनाई दे जाती है।
ओह वेरी गुड। ये अपना भाव होता है सबका।
आप अभी भी म्यूट पे हो वैसे।
मैं म्यूट पे नहीं हूँ।
नहीं, तुम नहीं, मधु
अच्छा,
जी। हाँ,
हमारी माता श्री म्यूट पे है।
माता श्री हम लोगों की म्यूट पे है। अभी वो सुन नहीं रही मेरे ख्याल से। वो अपने भक्ति भाव में इतना मग्न है, उनको किसी और की बात सुनाई नहीं देती।
बस वो देख लिया कुछ। बस
हाँ, तुम फ्री हो गई क्या? नंदी मुखी।
नहीं, अभी क्लास चल आई नहीं है। बस वाला एक बार आप आवाज नीचे दे दो। बस रही है बस वाला दे दो। तो पूछा ये फिर भगवान की दे दोगे ना, इसलिए तो फिर आप ला के आई हूँ। नाचे ही बना मैं फोन करने का टाइम नहीं है। सबको जोड़ना होता है कि आगे नहीं आते ना तो फिर मुझे डांट पड़ती है। अभी आए नहीं। बस वाला कुछ खा लो। दाना खाओ आप। नहीं, इधर तो गर्मी सी फील होती है तो डाल लो पानी बेशक। पता नहीं कैसा ना मेरे से पानी जाता है। ये कहाँ पे है जब क्या ये हाँ बिल्कुल। आ रही है सोनू? अगर टीवी देख लो थोड़ा 5-10 मिनट तक बिजी हूँ मैं बस पे। ठीक है, फोन पे वो कितनी होगी आपकी गीता साल? हाँ ये ठीक है, वो जरूरी है आपके लिए।
हरे कृष्ण श्यामा। श्यामा जी दर्शन दे दो। हरे कृष्ण मालविका।
Hare Krishna Prabhu, how are you?
Very good, thanks. How are you?
I'm good.
Good to see your picture.
We'll have my video on in a little bit, Prabhu, I promise.
What's that?
I said I'll have my video on in a little bit, I promise.
Oh, okay. Okay, thank you. And Shama, how are you?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna,
How are
Namata
you
Mataji.
doing?
Good, thanks. How are you?
I am doing good, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yeah, same here. You're looking all pink. Is there any red light around you?
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. Let me just check. No. Let me just check. How about now?
Yeah, now it's good.
Deep link?
Yeah, it's good, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Maybe I was blushing before.
Yeah, that's what Krishna was like sending him blessings on you.
Today's kind of people are running late. Somebody with the name of iPad just joined. Alexa Rampriya Prabhu, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Very good, thanks. Good to see you. Alexa माता जी, आप म्यूट पे हो, सुनाई नहीं दे रहा.
Okay.
That's better.
Hare Krishna.
Hello. Hare Krishna.
How are you?
Yeah, good. Thank you. This is my first time.
क्या नाम है आपका?
Rani.
Oh, you are Rani. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. Welcome.
Yes. Yeah, thank you.
How do you pronounce your last name?
It's Harpale.
Harpale. Okay.
Yes.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah.
Yeah, we exchange emails.
Yes.
I'm glad you are able to join us.
Yeah.
Where do you live? Toronto or some other place?
No, Toronto.
Oh, Toronto. Okay.
Midtown. Young
Okay.
and Eglinton. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Nice area. Okay, we'll wait one more minute, then we'll start Pranami Mantra. And I guess people can join. For some reason, quite a few people are late today. Shama ji, darshan हुए? Shama.
सॉरी प्रभु जी, मेरे म्यूट था.
हाँ,
मेरे
मालूम है
थोड़े
मुझे.
ना कैमरा में थोड़ी सी प्रॉब्लम है, स्टक हो रहा है.
कैमरा स्टक हो रहा है.
हाँ जी.
अच्छा.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Twinkle, how are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good. थोड़ा sideways दिख रही हो आज.
Really? मैंने
अब ठीक है, अब ठीक हो गया.
Nice picture.
Is it fine now?
हाँ, ठीक है, हाँ.
मेरे कृष्णा कैसे लगे आपको heart shaped lights में?
Oh, very nice. Very nice. I just noticed.
This is Janmashtami special.
Oh, good. That's very nice. Every day is just Janmashtami.
Yeah, so every day the lighting is there.
There you go. Very nice. Okay, you know what I'll do? I'll share the screen and we'll start with Pranami Mantras and then hopefully more people can join us. So give me 1 second, okay? There you go. So we're going to chant the prayers that are on the screen. For those of you who don't know, you can just read from the screen. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtha. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
it's not sharing, right? I'm sorry. Just hold on.
It's not.
Yeah, just 1 second. I didn't realize that. Okay, that's better. You can see it on the screen now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Namo
Vishnu
Padaya Krishna
Krishna
Prishtaya
Prishtaya
Bhutale Shrimate Bhakti
Vedanta
Vedanta Swaminiti
Namine
Namaste
Namaste Saraswati Deva
Gauravani
प्रचारिणे
Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi
शून्यवादी
Paschatya Deshetarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya
चैतन्य
Prabhu
प्रभु
Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi
नित्यानंद
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna
कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare
हरे
Hare
हरे
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa
कृपा
sindhubhyo
सिंधु च
patitanam
पतितानां
pavanebhyo
पावनेभ्यो
vaishnavebhyo
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः
Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Okay, so let's get back on the screen. All right, so okay, so we covered chapter 11 last week. Are there any questions from last week before we proceed? Okay, so it was very clear. All right, so then the next part we do is the takeaways. What do you remember? What struck you as special that stuck with you from last week?
Krishna is the karta, karma, kriya. Like we take birth from him, we go back to him, we come back to him.
Okay.
So it's like a circle, you can say.
Okay. All right. What else?
Vishwarupa darshanam
Yes.
about Virat Roop.
Yes, he showed his universal form. Yes. What else? Nobody has mentioned the most important part yet.
He showed the whole universe in his mouth to Arjun.
Okay. Yeah, sure. The part of the universal form. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And all the opulences and whatever, like everything he showed to Arjun.
Sure. Yeah. So besides the universal form, what was the main thing that he told Arjun that stuck with you?
I can take a shot at it. I mean,
Sure, take a shot
pure
at it.
pure devotees are not interested in seeing like different like the Virat form of Krishna.
Correct.
They're more interested in having that personal connection with Krishna and serve him in whichever way possible.
So very good point. Yes. What else? There's one thing in particular that I'm looking for that was the most important. I mean, more important than anything else, because it applies to our real life, everyday life.
He, like he said that you forget everything, you do what I am asking you to do. You have to fight. That's it.
That was way back, Mother. So that
Very
was
back, yes. Yeah, of course, in the beginning. Of course, in the beginning.
From last week.
7th chapter. Yeah.
From last week, what do we remember?
Any objective answers?
Okay, so let me help you.
You need help.
He said, Arjun, get up and fight. Take the credit for victory. I have already killed everybody in this battle. You just take the credit. It will look like you killed them, but I'm the one who killed. So they've already been done. You simply become an instrument of my instructions.
Yes.
Right? Then we discussed the story of Barbaric, who actually confirmed that nobody killed anybody except Krishna Sudarshan Chakra. Remember that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes. Gatotka's son.
Right.
His head was on the top of a mountain. So
Correct.
He was watching
Correct.
from there.
So that's the most important message from chapter 11, that we are nothing but an instrument. of Krishna. So we can never take credit. Really, we can never say, we did this, we accomplished this, we achieved this. We can never say that because it's all done by Krishna already. That's why we say everything is happening according to Krishna's plan. But he has already done it. But he said, but you still fight. Just because I have done it doesn't mean sit back and say, okay, Krishna, you already done that. I don't have anything to do. We cannot do that. We still have to work hard. We still have to execute. We have to, make plans and fight and do the battles and do the job and the business and the family, taking care of family, everything. We still have to do it. But the results, Krishna has already determined. That's the main point. So we said we should never take credit for what we have accomplished. We should always give the credit to Lord Krishna. He did it, we didn't. Hare Krishna Shilpi, I just saw you. How are you? Okay, all right, so we can move to the chapter 12. There are no other questions, then that's what we will do. All right. So if you remember, throughout Bhagavad Gita, Krishna has talked about two types or two classes of transcendentalists. One are called personalists. Anybody remember who the personalists are? And the second is impersonalists. So what is personalist and what's impersonalist? Anybody? If you were in my house, I'd have offered you a cup of tea because it looks like everybody's asleep. But I can't do that. You have to make your own tea. So what's an impersonalist and what's a personalist? I mean, it should be very obvious, really, from the word itself.
Like it's in person, by person,
Yeah. So
direct and indirect something.
Okay,
related.
good guess. Good guess. So personalist is one who serves in devotion the personal form of
Krishna.
An impersonalist is the person who contemplates on the impersonal form, which is no form.
Brahma Jyoti.
Brahma Jyoti, exactly. It's light, it's power, it's energy, whatever word you want to use. But there's no person there. There's no form there. Light has no form. Energy has no form, right? So it's kind of hard to conceive of something that doesn't have any form. Right? So in this whole chapter, Krishna will talk about how difficult it is to be an impersonalist and how easy is it to be a personalist. How can you establish a relationship with energy or light? Right? But with a person, you can establish a relationship. That's why Krishna comes in the form of a deity. Right? Everybody knows what a deity is, right? Anybody who does not know the word deity? So deity is not different from Krishna himself, right? So you can see the deity, you can touch the deity, you can feed the deity, you can give water to the deity. They smile back at you, right? You can talk to them. You can admire them. You can establish a relationship. So for example, if you talk to people in Toronto, they all love Radha Gopinath. Talk to people in Vancouver, they all love Radha Madan Mohanji. They're the same. But somehow local people become attached to their local deities because there's a form, right? So the personalists worship the personal form. Impersonalists cannot worship. There's no worship. There's no. How can you serve a light? How can you serve an energy? But you can serve a person. You can actually massage their lotus feet. You can wash their lotus feet. You can bathe them. You can dress them. But you cannot do that with energy. So there's no relationship. Okay, clear?
Yep.
Okay, so what Arjun, would you say Arjun is a personalist or impersonalist?
Personalist.
Personalist, correct. So because he has been a friend of Krishna for a long time.
Yep.
They're almost the same age. And they've been friends from way back. Okay? But when Arjun saw Krishna's universal form, as we discussed it last week, he got scared. That is a very scary form where everybody's going in the mouth of Krishna. You know, you can see the past, present, and future. You know, you see Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, you know, all those things. That's very scary form. And also it shows that it's not an ordinary person. You see the planets there, you see the sun and the moon there, and you see the stars there, everything. You're seeing Patal Lok, you're seeing Sutal Lok, you're seeing Bhu Lok, you're seeing Swarg Lok, everything you're seeing in that form. That's scary. So Arjuna is saying, oh my God, can I be friends with this person? Right? So he's saying, well, I have been friends so far, but it's before I knew that this is the form. So can I still be the friend? So maybe it's better that I become impersonalist. So he asked Arjun asked Krishna, tell me please, which is better? Impersonalist or personalist? Which process is better? Serving Krishna in a personal way or contemplating on him in an impersonal way? What class is better? Personalist or impersonalist? So why is he doing that? As you just said, Arjun has been attached to Krishna's personal form. But he wants to make sure that he's on the best path and that he can really enter a personal devotional relationship with Krishna. He wants to know if such a personal relationship is real, or is it better to follow the path of contemplating on the impersonal feature of Krishna, which is just a light or energy. I mean, everything was okay until he saw the universal form. But having seen that universal form, Arjun is now having doubts. And so he wants to confirm his feeling that the impersonal path is a waste of time. Because, you know, I mean, like I said, how can you conceive what impersonal feature of somebody is? You can't. You can guess, you can speculate, but how do you perfectly conceive? Personal form is easy, you see it. So then Krishna immediately, because he knows how concerned Arjuna has become, so he immediately assures Arjuna that as far as he's concerned, as far as Krishna is concerned, those who fix their minds on Krishna's personal form and are always engaged in serving him with great faith, they are the most perfect. So those who are fixing their mind on Krishna's form and engaged in serving him with great faith are the most perfect. And he says that, listen, don't get me wrong, those who are contemplating on his all-pervading impersonal form, they also ultimately achieve him. But their path is very troublesome. And it's very difficult for conditioned souls like us to make progress on the impersonal path. So let's make sure we all understand why is it so difficult to follow the impersonal path. So I'd like you to answer that. Why is it so difficult?
Because you cannot serve the personal form you can serve, but the impersonal form, how can you serve that?
Okay. Sorry, Aarti, you're raising your hand. I can't see you, but there's a message here that you're raising your hand. Do you want to say something, Aarti? Maybe not. Okay. Sorry, Mataji, you were saying?
I am saying like impersonal form, you cannot serve. You cannot feel something like you are serving. But the personal form, you can feel happy. You are doing something for the God, like you are serving Him. But the
So,
impersonal form, you cannot feel anything. And you
okay.
cannot serve it.
So what you're saying is that you get some satisfaction from seeing that you're able to serve. Satisfaction from having a relationship that you cannot have with the impersonal form. Okay. But what makes it so difficult to make progress on that? This lack of feelings, that's one. What else?
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Sorry, I was having some technical difficulty.
Oh, okay.
I did raise my hand, but I couldn't switch the screen for some reason. I was having some trouble.
Okay, go ahead.
So the question is, could you repeat it? So I can...
Why is it so difficult to make progress on the impersonal path compared to personal path?
The impersonal path as opposed to the personal path.
Right.
So the impersonal path, I feel like there's a lot of distractions, I find.
Yes, of course. Yes, absolutely.
Not so much like, I mean, I'm very disciplined in so many different areas I've found over the years. I've trained myself, but just with having like kids and, you know, like they like to do different things. They associate with different people. So sometimes it becomes very difficult to constantly be in Krishna consciousness, because I feel like there's this gravitation sometimes, like a pull. Mm-hmm. But I always try to come back to, you know, the idols and to focus on my mind on Krishna.
Okay.
Am I understanding the question correctly? I don't know.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, whatever you said is correct. Is correct.
Okay.
There's probably more. So basically, what does it impersonal? Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry.
Can I? Go ahead.
Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I was thinking maybe it will be difficult to register the in-person form and for a long time, and maybe to worship him. If there is a person form, it's all okay. He's friend of him. He's in front of me, so it's easy to remember always and worship him as a devotee.
Sure, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So let's just talk about what does an impersonalist do. Maybe that will help you understand. Go ahead, Twinkle, go ahead.
Okay, I had something in mind. I think you covered this in the beginning lectures. So what happens is that a person who like is an impersonalist and is kind of, let's say, meditating on that light, what happens is ultimately they merge with that light, or their spirit or their soul it merges with that light, and they're like, you are not meeting God, so you ultimately have to come back.
Yes.
So that makes the entire journey going back to Godhead, I guess, very difficult. So I think that makes the impersonal form difficult.
Sure. But what do they have to do to get perfection on their path? Impersonals, what do they have to do?
They have to leave everything, I guess.
Yeah.
Like
so
material, like they cannot live in the material world, then they have to go in jungle and like sit and meditate.
Correct. Yeah. What else do they have to do? So they study the Vedas, for example, right? But how many of us can study Vedas? How many of us know enough Sanskrit to be able to do that? So that by itself becomes very, very hard, right? And then how do you understand this impersonal form? You can't see it. And then they're supposed to control their senses. They fix their mind on nothing, basically, because there's nothing there that they're looking for. They're looking for light. So how do you fix your mind on light? Something so imperceptible and inconceivable to the senses. Then they have to do all these postures, you know, they sit in this position and that position and do the breathing control and, you know, all sorts of other things they have to do. And so it's really very difficult. And then what happens is, if by luck they actually come in contact with the devotee and decide to follow the personal path, it becomes very hard for them. Like, wait a minute, I don't understand this personal form. This is supposed to be impersonal. How can personal form have all this power? Because it looks like me, and I don't have all these powers. I have so many miseries, and it looks like me, so he must have miseries also. All those ideas make so difficult, right? What are the typical activities for personalists in the Bhakti Yoga? Any ideas? Typical activities in devotional service in a personal form. What do we do in ISKCON?
Doing kirtan,
Yeah.
praying deities, association with other devotees.
Chanting, talk about Krishna all the time.
Right. So which one sounds like more fun?
Talking about Krishna all the time. I feel fun in that.
Like, I mean, instead of controlling your senses and going in a forest and not talking to anybody, compared to that, eat prasadam and dance and chant and talk to people about Krishna.
Yeah, talking.
Right?
Book distribution.
Book distribution, Hari Bol. Exactly. Exactly. So, I mean, it's fun and it's a lot easier. And it's most direct, and Krishna says best process. Right? So just wanted to give you a sense for why it is so.
I have a question. I think I didn't understood. Maybe that's the reason I'm not getting exactly. The difference between the personalist person and the in-person is just an example. The Virat Roop or a Vishwaroop is the in-person and.
No.
Okay.
No. Virat Roop is basically third. So impersonalist means there is no form. You're looking at the energy of Krishna, power of Krishna, light of Krishna, but not Krishna. So it's like if you look at the sunshine, but no sun. You can still establish a relationship with the sun, you can see it. But how do you establish a relationship with the sunlight? How do you serve sunlight? Where do you focus when you want to see sunlight? Right? That's the problem impersonalists have. Does that answer your question, okay?
Yeah. So can I think like, okay, if Krishna has done some miracles, for example, instead of thinking about those miracles or something, instead of that, remembering Krishna itself, I'm seeing Krishna itself is the person form.
Well, I mean, even remembering what he has done is remembering Krishna.
Yep.
Right? But light doesn't do anything. So what do you remember? Light never killed anybody, right?
Yeah.
So that's the other thing. I mean, light doesn't lift Govardhan Hill. Light doesn't steal butter. Right? So there's no relationship. There's no activity. You just sit there. Okay.
Actually, I have a follow-up question.
Yes, Prabhu. Yeah.
So what I am, at least like personally, if I am a personalist, what I am feeling is I am missing out on like Krishna's infinite power, right? Like, I mean, I'm seeing Krishna as a person. I am restricting myself to see him as like all pervading. Is if I don't see him as impersonalist, right?
Well, so very good question. So first of all, you may recall from a previous week that Krishna contains all three features: the Brahman effulgence, the super soul, and person himself. So Krishna has all three. Second point is, if you see Krishna as the Almighty God, then you got everything. He's pervading, all pervading. He's got all the powers, everything. So with Krishna, you get all three features. With Brahman effulgence, you just get one. Did I answer your question, Nandu?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. All right. Okay. Should we move on?
I just have a one quick question.
Yes, please go ahead.
Somewhere in the previous chapters where we talked about this Brahmanifaljas, Super Soul, and Krishna, somewhere you mentioned along the lines that at the end goal is to go back to Godhead, to Krishna. So I think the easiest way is through bhakti yoga, than rather meditating on something, or doing a practice to follow a light or something, because the end goal, all these things will eventually, the goal is to merge into Krishna. Is that something?
It's not to merge in Krishna, to be with Krishna so we can serve him. We devotees do not want to merge. If you merge, there's no service. Right? So you always want to maintain your identity as servant of Krishna so you can always serve him.
Okay, so the impersonalists who are who follow, who meditate on a light or something. So, but eventually, for them to serve Krishna, is they have to go back to again, bhakti yoga, or
Right, you got it. Without bhakti yoga, they cannot serve Krishna.
They cannot reach it.
Correct.
Okay.
That is very good.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. All right. So in verse 6, Krishna says that he helps those who engage in devotional service with their mind always fixed on him. And he says, and I'm quoting from that verse, he swiftly delivers them from their material existence. So Srila Prabhupada gives an example of a man drowning in ocean. Now you know ocean is vast and very deep. Pacific Ocean is 5 miles deep, 8 kilometers deep. So, but that drowning man can easily be saved by another man who is an expert swimmer. On his own, this person may not survive. Similarly, a devotee does not need to perfect his other abilities, like we talked about Ashtanga Yoga, to be able to travel to other planets. Because Krishna will come on his Garuda or other chariot and pick him up to take him back to Golok Vrindavan. Or he'll send an airplane to take him to his abode. We know the story of Dhruva Maharaj. Krishna actually sent an airplane to pick him up. And when he said, I don't want to go alone, I want my mother to go with me, the pilot pointed out that, look, the plane in front of you, your mother is already leaving on that plane to go to the same place. So not only was Krishna taking Dhruva Maharaj with him, he was taking his mother also, because she was instrumental in putting him in touch with Krishna, in making him such a wonderful devotee. On the other hand, no such help is offered to those who contemplate on the impersonal feature of Krishna. And their success depends primarily on their determination, how determined they are in getting to Krishna. So why is that? Why is Krishna distinguishing between personalist, whom he helps himself, and impersonalist, to whom he provides no help? Any ideas? Is the question clear? Is the question clear?
Can you repeat that once more? Thank you.
I just give the example of Krishna saying, I will help my devotees who are serving my personal form to get to their destination. And I gave the example of Dhruva Maharaj, for whom an airplane was sent. I said Krishna can also come on his Garuda, like the story of Gajendra, the elephant, for whom he came on his Garuda. As Lord Vishnu pick him up. But there's no such story about Krishna doing that for an impersonalist. So why this distinction? He's happy to help a personalist come home, but not helping the impersonalist.
Because personalist is directly engaged in Krishna's service, and Krishna knows that he, like his mind is fixed on me itself, me only.
Yes.
So he is not thinking of anything else. He is focused on me, and he is doing his duty. So I will take him. I will take care of my devotees, such a devotee. But the impersonalist, they never fix their mind on Krishna. Their mind is like going, I don't know how to say it.
But they fix their mind on his light. So that's all.
But it's not a form. The form.
Okay.
So the form may come, but the light energy can't come in any form and help you out. So.
Okay. What else? What could be another reason?
क्योंकि भक्त अपने पर कुछ भरोसा नहीं करता है, सब भगवान पे छोड़ देता है, भगवान पे भरोसा करता है, और इम्पल्सिव जो है अपने ऊपर करता है.
Very good. Very good. So, go ahead.
Impersonalist says that I am doing this thing, but the personalist, he says that Krishna is doing. I am not doing. My mind is on Krishna only. That's it. I know that he is doing.
So very good. But there's one other point with that, added to that, attached to that point, another point. What is the purpose of personalist doing his service? What is he doing for? Who is he doing for?
For the pleasure of Krishna.
For Krishna.
Yeah, who said that? For the pleasure of Krishna.
Krishna.
Okay, who's the impersonalist doing it for?
Himself.
Himself, because all he wants to do is get out of the material world. This material world is a miserable place. I don't want to be here. Get me out of here. He's doing it for himself. Devotee is not doing it for himself. He says, go send me to hell, it doesn't matter. As long as I can serve you. And my service is, the sole purpose of my serving you is to please you. So Krishna says, you're doing it for me. I'll take you with me. You do it for yourself, okay, go ahead. You're on your own. So on your own determination, on your own effort, you may succeed, you may not succeed. My devotee, even if he's only 80% successful, I'll take him. 20% grace. Right? So sometimes in India, if you get 30%, they give that 3% grace mark so you pass. Right? Remember those days?
We do that.
So same thing. Krishna said, that's fine. I'll give you some grace. But not for impersonalists. You're on your own, buddy. But you're doing it for yourself. And that's the big difference. Okay?
So I have a question, Prabhuji.
Okay, yeah, sure. Of course.
So here, like, at least like from what I'm understanding is, like Krishna is kind of partial. He's showing
is. He sure is.
Okay.
He sure is. He says that in Bhagavad Gita, chapter 9. If you remember text 29, he says, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name desho asti na priya. Ye bhajanti tu mam bhaktya maite tesh chapyam. He said, I'm equal to everybody. I don't envy anybody. I don't love anybody. However, he says, however, my devotees, I have a special place for them in my heart. So he says that. He doesn't hide it. Okay. He says, you do so much for me, that's the least I can do for you. And Prabhupada gives the example of that, you know, we may be impartial, but somehow we love our own child a little bit better, a little bit more than somebody else's child. Right? So same thing.
Okay.
Devotees are special to Krishna.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
One question.
Go ahead, Ram Prabhu. Go ahead.
I mean, to understand more like in person again, who are the devotees for the in-person list?
So they are the Jnanis. Remember we talked about Jnana Yoga? These are Jnana Yogis. They're trying to speculate. They study the Vedas. They try to get the knowledge. From that, they try to figure out who is God, who is absolute truth. They're constantly speculating.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Sure. All right. I would also like to point out in this context that the Vedic literatures confirm that one who is devoted to the Supreme Personality, in other words, a personalist, can attain all the benefits derived from other yogic processes, speculations, rituals, sacrifices, charities, etc. So all these things, they are included in the performance of devotional service of the personal form. And that is the specific benediction of devotional service. Therefore, if you're intelligent, you should prefer the easy process of devotional service to all other paths. Does that make sense? Or am I becoming a zealot or fanatic? Do I sound like a fanatic? Somebody please say no, please. Somebody say
No, 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 no.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Okay, so do you agree? Yes, no?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji.
If you don't have video on, you should nod like this, I can't see you. So if you have video off, then you have to say it. If your video on, then I can see you. Shama, that was for you. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu, I have a quick question.
Yes, Arti, go ahead.
Maybe this question may or may not be relevant, but I'm going to ask it anyway, if that's okay.
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. So, like, as you know, I have young kids, and like I try to serve my idols are pictures of Krishna and my deities. And, you know, I'm trying to teach my kids to be independent. So I ask them to do a lot of things on their own. Am I being like too hard on my kids? Because they see me doing things for idols and then they ask, well, why can't you do this for me? And I've done a lot already, but I feel like if they don't learn how to do things for themselves, then they may become too dependent on me, and I'm pretty tired trying to take care of my mom and everyone else.
Well, so
sorry, I just wanted to ask because I feel like I need to ask this because I need some clarity, and I hope nobody else. I hope I haven't interrupted the class by asking this.
No, that's a good question. Whoever has kids, we do have that question, Mataji. Thank you.
The point is, if you do not make your children independent, you do not help them learn how to take care of themselves, don't teach them how to be self-dependent, then who will teach them that? And it's okay, they are 6, 7, 8, 10 years old now, but if they're 20 years old and they're still used to mother doing their laundry, mother deciding what clothes they're going to wear, mother polishing their shoes, when will they learn to become independent?
And then if they're like,
sorry, go ahead.
And if they're like me, then they're just gonna go back to their mother and be like, why did you not teach me this? Now I'm like facing all these struggles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Exactly right.
And so this is why I'm doing this at a young age. I'm teaching them now because I feel like, well, I have the time, then we can spend that time and I can tell them how to make their lunch and do it. But sometimes I feel so bad because I feel so guilty, and my daughter cries and she gets so frustrated and my son gets frustrated. And then I feel like a terrible person because you know, like I'm serving Krishna, but then I can't serve my kids, and I feel very bad. And even my mom, because I feel sometimes I have to push her, because if she doesn't move, then she'll lose mobility in her legs and her hands, and then, you know, it's like, but I'm doing it out of love, but my heart breaks because I feel bad. Like sometimes I feel like maybe I'm
So
just being a bad person.
as long as you're convinced in your mind that you're doing in optimal way, not in a fanatic way. In other words, if you're spending 100% of your time in serving Krishna and you're totally ignoring your children and your mother, then that's not right.
No, I'm not doing that.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But as long
Yeah.
as you're not doing that and you feel that you're doing an optimum combination of that, then that's fine. Children are very good at laying a guilt trip on their parents. They're experts at it. And you can't fall in that trap. So as long as you feel you're doing the adequate amount, the right amount, then you stick with it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. So just to repeat everything we have discussed so far, how easy is the process where we're serving the personal form of Krishna? I could ask the same question in a different way. How easy is it to chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare? How easy is that?
It's easy, but the mind.
No, mind, forget that. I'm talking about the effort. In terms of effort. Can I also please see some faces, because it feels very weird for me to look at the screen with just the names printed, then I feel like, you know, I'm talking to some disembodied names. Okay.
No, chanting is nice. It's easy.
It's very easy and it's very pleasurable. It's fun. You can dance and chant and all those kind of things.
The only problem is our mind.
No, that's different. But that doesn't make it more difficult. Mind says don't do it. Mind says, you know, saying, you know, मैं तेरे प्यार में क्या क्या ना बना, you know, instead of Hare Krishna, you know, things like that. But that's mind. But that doesn't make it more difficult, though, right?
Yeah.
It's that.
Where did you learn all this from?
Well, I had a life. I had a life before.
So that means you had this.
I sure did. I sure did. I don't hide it.
No, I have a different song.
Okay. Oh yeah, I mean everybody has different songs. Okay, all right. Let's move on. Okay. Krishna says in 18th chapter that we have not covered yet, where he's saying that there are many processes to approach me. But the abode of Krishna itself, the supreme destination as we call it, we cannot reach by any other process of religion. Devotional service is the only process. And that's why Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18th chapter that we haven't covered yet, but we'll sooner or later do it. He says very famous words, Sarv Dharman Parityajya. Who knows?
Sarva Dharma Parityajya. Ek mam sharanam ka.
Mam ekam sharanam vraja. Aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayami ma shucha.
Koi shak nahi.
You know, koi shak nahi. He says, don't worry.
Don't worry.
Not worry.
Yep.
So give me all your worries. How would you like that? Somebody says, give me all your worries. I'll take care of them. You just go have a good time. Like, what kind of good deal is that?
That is the best deal.
Best deal. And that's what Krishna is saying.
Yeah.
Give me your problems. I'll take care of all your problems.
Yeah.
Right? I just want you to do one thing. Just serve me.
But Vedashri, we can't because we are not pure.
Sorry, we can't what?
I can't surrender all things. It's hard for everybody. We are trying our best, but fully it's hard.
That's okay. He's saying, if you don't try, how will you ever become perfect?
I know. We
It's
are
like,
trying really. We are trying loads.
And Krishna knows that.
I know.
Right? I always give people example. If you have a child who's 6 months old or 8 months old, and he tries to stand up to walk and he falls down. If the mother says, oh my God, my child is going to get hurt. Better, please just sit there, don't move, don't move. Then 20 years later, the child will still be sitting there, not be able to move. But simply because he got up, fell down, got up, fell down, got up, fell down. Today he can walk, he can run, and all those things. The same with us. We'll fall down, we'll make mistakes, we'll get up and we'll do it again. Fortunately, Krishna forgives us. We make offenses, we make mistakes. Krishna says, it's okay, beta. You keep coming back. You do the same mistake again. This is okay, beta. Come back again. Right?
Yes, I know that. But sometimes I feel so much anxiety. I don't know. I can try our best, but it's hard for in this life, really.
Well, it's hard, but not impossible.
I know. I understand. Thank you so much. We can try our best more and more.
And I have good news for you, by the way. I have very good news for you. You want to hear it?
Yes.
You're doing very well. Krishna sent me a personal message saying, tell Nandini, she's doing very well.
Oh my God. Thank you so much. But
I'm telling you.
Everybody like your blessing, please.
Well, you got it. It
Thank
came
you so
directly from
much.
Krishna. So
Thank
don't
you.
worry. Just keep chanting, keep serving. That's all. Serve Krishna's devotees. That's all we can ask. That's all Krishna wants. Okay?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay. So Krishna says, don't even worry about any sins you have done in your past life. I'll just take care of it. So just take shelter of Krishna. Let him take care of you. Honestly, I'm not exaggerating. There's no need to worry. Krishna has our back. Krishna is looking after us. Krishna is taking care of us. It's just that sometimes he does it in his own way. And sometimes that doesn't match what we want. So we think, why is Krishna doing this to us? But everything Krishna is doing for us is good for us. He'll never do anything to hurt us. He'll never do anything that's not good for us. And we need to have that faith. And if we have that faith, we can live our life very happily, even if physically it's not so good. Okay? All right. So let's look at the same point from a different angle. You know, do you agree that it is our nature to be happy? The soul's nature is to be happy. Do you agree with that?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. We know Sat Chit and Anand, correct? Krishna is Sat Chit and Anand and we are Sat Chit and Anand. What does Sat Chit and Anand mean? What does Sat mean?
Eternal.
Eternal. Chit means?
Complete conscious.
Complete conscious, full of knowledge. Anand means?
Happiness.
Happiness, blissfulness.
Blissful.
Right? So we are very blissful by nature. So it's not surprising that we all want to be happy. It's just natural to us. It's our intrinsic nature. Right? The essence of happiness is experienced in a loving relationship. If the relationship is not loving, there's no happiness.
Correct.
And you may have millions of dollars, but nobody loves you, you can't be happy. So the essence of happiness is experienced in loving relationship. But for a relationship to exist, what do we need for a relationship to exist?
We should have faith in each other.
Okay.
Trust, love.
Trust, love, faith.
Okay. So you're all correct. But first you have to have somebody to love.
To love. That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
So somebody to love and somebody to love. Somebody who's loving. So somebody
To
who's
be
being
loved.
loved and somebody who's loving.
To be loved.
Right? And then, because we all want to be loved, but who wants to love? So both are required. And then the loving relationship itself. Correct? So all three things are required. The object of love, the subject of love, and the loving relationship. Agree? So you can't have that in an impersonal relationship. There's nothing to love. There's no relationship. So you can have that only in a personal relationship. Right? There's a reciprocity. The impersonal notion of oneness, where the impersonalist simply wants to merge in the Brahman effulgence, kills all three. There's nobody to love, there's no one to love, and there's no relationship. So how can you have happiness? The true happiness requires those three things, and all those three things are missing. The object of love, the subject of love, and the reciprocity of relationship. They're all missing. Right? So there's no happiness. Not the same quality anyway as in the personal relationship. So Krishna explains that a personal approach to God through devotional service, which is known as Bhakti Yoga, is not only more practical, in the immediate term, but also more fulfilling in the long term. Why? Because the reciprocity of relationship is there. When the reciprocity is there, it's more fulfilling. It's like, you know what the definition of love-hate relationship is? Anybody? What is the definition of love-hate relationship?
Love-hate relationship.
Love-hate. Have you heard that term? Is it love-hate relationship?
Like mother-in-law, daughter-in-law relationship.
I'm not going there. But anyways, have you heard that term or not? If you've not heard it,
Yes.
Yeah.
You
So
cannot love without the person, and you cannot love.
Well, yeah, that's also true. I hate you today, I love you tomorrow. I hate you in the morning, I love you in the evening. Things like that.
Yeah.
Right? Some people also define it as, I have a love-hate relationship with this person because I love her, she hates me, which is like a joke, but you could also have that. But the point is that unless it's a love-love relationship, you cannot have a fulfilling relationship. Otherwise, something's missing always. So a personal relationship, which is devotional service, is fulfilling not just in the immediate term, but also in the long term. But for those who are on the impersonal path, yeah, they may get their spiritual merit and all that, but not only their progress is very troublesome, it's not very fulfilling. They're missing it so much that even those who achieve their perfection by merging in the Brahman effulgence, after a long time, they come back. They say, I can't stand it. So just imagine, if I told each one of you to sit in a room which is very well lit, big lights, bright lights. I mean, you're told just sit there, can't do anything else. Don't walk around, don't talk, there's nobody to talk to, there's nothing to do, you just sit. How long can you sit in that place? It's very comfortable otherwise, nice bed, but nothing else. After a while you say, get me out, no?
Yes, we do.
That's what happens to the impersonalists. Even if they get, after all these difficulties and troublesome ways, after they get to the Brahman effulgence, after a long time they say, get me out. They'll come back to material world, I mean the planet Earth. But then, now they try to become Bhakti Yogi. Because now दिमाग से गोबर निकल गया. There's no more cow dung in the head, the brain. I mean, now they come to their senses.
Very good example. Very good.
Thank you.
Prabhuji, I have a question.
Haji.
So, like, I think you mentioned this, or someone mentioned that for impersonalists, the devotees are basically Gyan yogis who read a lot of scriptures and everything. So then, in the process of going over these scriptures, don't they, stumble upon Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam or any of
See, the Vedas, that's the
such
problem.
knowledge?
The problem is the Vedas don't really talk about Krishna. None of the 4 Vedas talk about Krishna. They don't talk about the personal form. So all you get is speculative knowledge. Okay? So yeah, no, by reading the Vedas, they don't. They have to read Srimad Bhagavatam. But if they do that, they become a devotee anyway.
Okay.
Okay? All right. So this is another reason, the importance of personal relationship. The Srila Prabhupada, I think he's the first person to use the term Godhead, Supreme Personality of Godhead. You heard that?
Yeah.
So why does he do that? Why does he say the term Supreme Personality of Godhead? What do those 3 words mean? Anybody? What does supreme mean?
Super.
All over on top.
At the top.
Huh? What?
Topmost, supreme.
Topmost. Yes. There's nobody
Topmost.
higher, nobody better,
Yeah.
nobody superior.
Yep.
Right? Top of down. There's nobody richer, there's nobody more intelligent, nobody more knowledgeable, nobody stronger, nobody more famous, nobody wealthier. He's got them all. Personality. What does personality mean? Who can have a personality? Does your laptop have a personality?
No.
Does your desk have a personality?
No.
Does your light bulb have a personality?
No. The human form.
Person has a personality.
Person can have. Exactly right. You have to be a person to have personality. I mean, it may not be the best personality, but has personality. Right? So that means it's a person. So supreme personality, Godhead. That really says it's a person. In case you didn't understand the word personality, it's a person. It really has a head. It really does have a head. It has a body. So that's what Prabhupada used to use, Supreme Personality of Godhead for Krishna. Okay? To emphasize the point that this is a person you're talking about. This person gets hungry. This person gets thirsty. This person gets sleepy. This person gets tired. He may be God, but all those things happen. Right? Hence the relationship. We feed him. We put him to sleep. We change his dress. We bathe him. If it's too hot, we put more clothes on. If it's too cold, we take some clothes off. We put AC on. We put heater on. Because it's a person, not a light. For light, you won't do that. Okay? And when you do all that, it's also a relationship. Devotees worry about, oh my God, it's time to feed Krishna. I have not fed him yet. Let me hurry up. Right? Sometimes we don't go to a program because conflicts with our service time, or we go late. Now, I got to finish my service. I got to feed my Krishna before I go. You won't do that with light. Right? Okay. Now, Krishna comes to a very interesting point. He says, I can say all I want, but people will not become pure devotees so easily. I can say all I want, but people will find it very hard to focus or fix their mind upon me. This is what Nandi was saying earlier also. Right? So she's not unique. Most people have the same problem. So in the next 5 verses, Krishna demonstrates how magnanimous and how understanding he is. So what he does is he defines the gold standard for Bhakti Yoga, the silver standard, the bronze standard, and the iron standard. Does anybody know what this means? Gold standard for anything. What does that mean? The
He's the
expression
best quality.
best, yeah. Best among all is the gold standard, right? So he defines them all, and one by one. So he says that I recognize that some people will find it very difficult to fix their mind on me, to engage their intelligence in me. So he says, okay, that's fine. If you cannot always fix your mind on me, which is the gold standard, then here's the silver standard. The silver standard is to follow the rules and regulations of devotional service. And for those of you, those of us, I should say, who cannot even do that, then he offers the bronze standard. What is that? The option to work for Krishna. So you can't fix your mind on him, gold standard. You can't follow all the rules and regulations, silver standard. And I got the bronze standard, which is just work for him. And for those who cannot even do that, he offers the iron standard, which is just control your mind and work without attachment to your actions. So control your mind and do not worry about the results. Just do your thing, leave the results to Krishna and offer them to Krishna. Okay, so let's understand. I just said a bunch of things. Let me explain each one of them in more detail. So Srila Prabhupada actually explains in his purport that one who fixes his mind and intelligence on Krishna actually does not even live on material plane. He lives on the spiritual plane, even though he may appear to live in the material plane, but he doesn't live there. When he chants Krishna's holy name, everybody knows that Krishna's name is non-different from Krishna, right? Anybody who does not know that?
Yes.
So Krishna's name starts to dance on the tongue of the devotee who's chanting Krishna's name. When devotee offers bhoga to Krishna, he directly accepts it. And by eating the remnants of Krishna, which is the prasadam, the devotee actually becomes what I would say Krishnaized. And a pure devotee doesn't need to read or chant all the mantras, to feed Krishna. He doesn't even need to set a plate for Krishna. He says, okay, Krishna, you eat it. Or he puts it directly in his mouth, Krishna's mouth. And sometimes if Krishna really loves you, what does he do? He steals it from you. Right? Who did he steal butter from?
Mother Yashoda.
Gopis.
Okay, gopis.
No, everyone's, yeah,
Right?
gopis.
So gopis, they were not even offering him. They were not offering, they were hiding it from him. But he loves them so much because they love him so much. He'll go to their house and steal it. So that's a pure devotee. The pure devotee will take it, some cashews from his pocket and say, okay, Krishna, you eat it. And he will eat it. There's a whole pastime of Krishna's friends sitting together in a circle. And Yashoda Maya used to send amazing food stuff with Krishna. And all these poor gwalas, the friends, they were very poor. They will bring from their home whatever their mother cooked. There can be no comparison between the cookings of a queen, that's Yashoda, and this ordinary cowherd girls. But Krishna never ate anything Yashoda Maya sent with him. He fed it all to his friends. He only ate what they brought from their home. And what mantras did they read? Nothing. Not only that, they'll take a rasgulla whose mouth is watering. They'll take a rasgulla and they'll hide behind Rasgulla a flower. And they say to Krishna, Krishna, my mother said this Rasgulla, eat it. Krishna will open his mouth, they'll go near and drop the flower in his mouth. And not the Rasgulla, Rasgulla will put in their own mouth.
Oh.
And when Krishna realized he got fed a flower, he'll make a face, then everybody would laugh at him. So everybody's mocking Krishna, everybody's laughing at Krishna. And Krishna saying, this is the best service. I love it. That's a pure devotee. That's the relationship of pure devotee with Krishna. But that's for those who are on gold standard. Okay. Shabri, what did she do? Who knows the story of Shabri and Lord Ram?
Or she eats the
Bear.
fruit first. She tastes it. If it's tastes sweet, then she used to give to Ramaji.
Right. So basically, she
Taste.
tasted first.
Bears.
And she gave jutha from her mouth. She took it from her mouth, took it out of her mouth, and put it in the mouth of Lord Ramchandra.
That was her
Don't do
bhav.
that. Don't do that. You don't do that. We're not eligible to do that. She could do it. Gold standard. We're not on gold standard. But she could do it. So Sonia Mata, you were saying something?
I was saying that one was her bhav.
But that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Her mind was fixed on the Lord. She loved the Lord from the heart. So she could do it. We don't have that. We're not on gold standard. So they just define gold standard. Krishna saying, I understand. You may not be there yet. Okay, then let's talk about silver standard. He's saying, follow the rules and regulations, which will develop. When we follow the rules and regulations, they help develop a desire to attain Krishna. So the gold standard is for those who have already developed attachment for Krishna. Attachment out of love. The silver standard is for those who have not yet developed attachment for Krishna out of love. Okay? So one has got attachment out of love, one does not have love, or sorry, attachment out of love. So what should they do?
Follow the rules.
They should follow the rules and regulations under the guidance of a bona fide spiritual master. Because when we do that, our senses will be purified. So purified from what? What's the contamination of our senses? Anybody? First of all, do you agree that our senses are not pure?
Yes.
Contaminated? So
Yes,
contaminated by
we agree.
what?
By material
Material world.
forces.
Material world.
Material desires, yes, correct. So they're contaminated by our material desires, right? By our anarthas, the unwanted things like lust, greed, anger, right? Okay, so they become purified. And what happens is that with our contaminated sense, or senses, I should say, we serve to get something in return. Then the senses become purified. So after getting prasadam. On the other hand, generally speaking, with contaminated sense, we serve with the purpose of getting something in return. With purified senses, we simply serve for Krishna's pleasure. Are you with me so far?
Yep.
When our senses are pure, we serve for Krishna's pleasure. When senses are not pure, we serve Krishna to get something in return. More money, power, child, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, whatever. Right? So what are some of the examples of rules and regulations in Krishna consciousness? Anybody? Give me examples of rules and regulations.
Chant 16
Chant, yes.
times.
Yes. What else?
Leave garlic and onion.
Okay.
And
No toxic education, no
Okay.
illicit sex,
Yeah.
no illicit sex, no meat eating.
Yeah.
Yep.
What else?
No gambling also.
प्रसाद खाना
No
चाहिए
gambling also. What about in terms
प्रसाद
of
खाना
things
चाहिए
to do? You talked about no, don't do this. What about doing? What you must do? Chanting Sahasranams was one thing. What else?
Then you'll have to do it in Sanskrit. Shravanam, Kirtanam. What else? I am not good with that.
Vishnu Smaranam, yeah.
Yeah.
So
Serving
remembering.
lotus with, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Serving Krishna all the time.
What about things like rising a little early in the morning, taking bath
Oh,
in
yeah.
the morning?
Yeah.
Right?
Mangal Aarti, 4 o'clock, 4:30, every day attend Mangal Aarti.
Well, if you can, yeah.
Yes.
Right? Offering bhoga.
Even during winter.
Even during winter, yes.
Yes.
I think, yeah, you should not eat on the same dress which you are wearing.
Same
You
what?
have to change. Yeah, should not eat on the same dress which you are wearing, and you should change it if you are going serving the lotus feet, I think. That's like pujaris, the dress Prabhuji.
Oh yeah,
that
yes.
dress the pujaris
Should be
wear.
clean dress.
Clean.
Yes.
Just
Correct.
eating prasadam.
Eating prasadam, yes, absolutely. मतलब की बात.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. So there's some of the rules and regulations. Okay. Let's see. For those who can't even do that, so you cannot do fixing your mind, the gold standard, cannot do silver standard of following rules and regulations. Okay, fine. If you can't do any of those, at least work for me. How do you do that? You help those devotees who are propagating Krishna consciousness, who are distributing books, who are traveling to preach to other places and other people. You help them by giving them money or support of prasadam or whatever, or you open a temple for the devotees to serve, or you help in publishing the books for distribution. So basically you're helping other people do devotional service. And just by doing that, you will rise to the point of loving Krishna. And then he says, for those rascals who can't even do that, who can't even sympathize with the activities of Krishna consciousness, and sometimes, sometimes for social reasons, for familial reasons, for religious considerations. Like for example, if you're not even a Hindu, it might be difficult, maybe a little more challenging to support somebody in Krishna consciousness. If your parents or your wife, your husband is very against it, then that might also put challenges, right? So if it's possible, that's some genuine reasons, or maybe some other impediments. Then he says, okay, just go for the iron standard, which is what? Give up the results of your work to some good cause, like a charity. Because that will also result in gradual purification of the mind. And then sooner or later, with mind purified enough, one may understand Krishna consciousness. So in that sense, social service, community service, national service, sacrifice for one's country, etc., may be accepted as things that we should do so that one day we may come to the stage of pure devotional service.
Yeah.
Okay. Generally speaking, we do not encourage charity work and all that. But Krishna is making the point that if you can't do any of the other things, then at least do this, to do some purification. And if you can't even do that, then Krishna says, okay, just cultivate some knowledge. Because at least if you have knowledge, you will know what your real position is. And then at least you will have the option of becoming a karma yogi or a jnana yogi or dhyana yogi, which will eventually lead you to becoming a bhakti yogi. So again, very long indirect process. It's better than continuing to commit sinful activities. Okay. So I want to make another point. I don't know how many of you already caught on to, sorry, somebody saying something?
I had a question.
Go ahead.
So this, I think this was the text 10th, where this, like, I think you mentioned it was in the bronze one that at least just work for me. So what exactly does that mean? In what sense?
Yeah. So he gave the example that you help those people who are serving me in some way. So those people who are doing book distribution, those people who are going out to preach, university preaching, or going to the cities, they need a car, they need books. So help them get that. Maybe they don't have food, give them some prasadam. Or another example you gave was open a temple where they can have a base. Right? So those are the things that you do to work for it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. All right. So basically, the point that I've been hinting at, and some of you may have caught it, that the spiritual path is not all or nothing. It's not zero or something. It's like gradual process. One can begin their spiritual journey according to what is feasible and realistic for them. Everybody's coming from a different scenario, different situation, different circumstance. And so Krishna is being very flexible and saying, whatever works for you is okay with me, but do something. And in this chapter 12, Krishna is describing the two processes that we've been talking about to reach the Supreme Personality of Godhead. One process is direct, which is that. What's the name of that process?
Personalist devotion.
Personalist, yes. And the other process is by gradual development. So Krishna, devotional service and Krishna consciousness is the direct method. And the other process of gradual development starts with what? Renouncing the fruits of our activities. Then getting some knowledge. So Karma Yogi, Dhyan Yogi. Then to the stage of meditation, Dhyan Yogi. Then understanding the stage of understanding Super Soul, which is the yogis. And then finally, the stage of understanding Krishna, which is Bhakti Yoga. And it's our choice. We may take the gradual step-by-step process of Karma Yogi, Jnana Yogi, Dhyana Yogi, Yogi, and then Bhakti Yogi, or directly become a Bhakti Yogi. Direct process is not possible for everyone. Therefore, the indirect gradual process is also good, better than not doing it. But as far as Krishna is concerned, as far as Bhagavad Gita is concerned, the direct method is what is desirable, as what's stressed. Everyone is advised to take the direct method, surrender to Krishna. Any questions before I move forward?
Probably there's a question in the chat.
Oh, what's the question?
It's a very good question. There's a verse that requires explanation.
Okay. This is totally out of context, better. I mean, this from chapter 2, totally out of context. So can you call me later and I can explain it to you? All right. Giresh, is that okay? All right. Any other questions? No? Okay. All right. Yeah, go ahead.
I just had this question. It's not more like a question, but more of a thought that earlier when we were discussing about like the various stages of yoga, there we did mention that like those are pious activities, and those will not be considered Krishna conscious spiritual activities, charity and social service and all that. But here, that's considered like the iron stage to at least do this as a bare minimum, right? So, like, does this here then qualify as being devotional service?
No, and that's what he's saying. This is not devotional service, but at least it'll get you to the right path. Do some purification, and then you'll become attracted to devotional service.
Okay.
So it's good in that sense. As opposed to keep stealing and killing and murdering and all those kind of things. You do this, at least there's some degree of purification. Okay.
Right. And does this level contain like all the havans and all the spiritual
yes, they are all
offerings?
pious activities.
Okay.
And yes, they are helpful in cleansing your consciousness.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure. All right. So now it is very interesting. The last 8 verses of this chapter, Krishna mentions that as one embarks on the spiritual journey, one begins to develop saintly qualities, which make the devotee very dear to Krishna. The saintly qualities make devotee very dear to Krishna. So basically, Krishna is assuring us that as a devotee develops love for Krishna, Krishna returns that love by falling in love with the devotee, which is the ultimate goal of life. The ultimate desire of a pure devotee and the prayojan of performing devotional service. So I deliberately use the word prayojan because I want to see who remembers the words prayojan, sambandh, abhideya. Anybody?
Yeah, the 3 things.
So tell me what they are.
What is your aim? What is your goal? And what is the way for that?
So what is the way? Is the process.
Bhakti.
What's
That
your goal or aim? That's the prayojan.
Yes.
What's the third one?
Prayojan, they, and what is your target? No.
Sambandh. What's sambandh?
Relation.
Relationship. So what is your relationship?
Yeah.
Right? So what is our relationship with Krishna?
Being a devotee.
Yeah, we are
Dear
servants.
to Krishna, devotee.
We are servants.
Servant.
Right? What's the process to serve Krishna?
Bhakti.
Bhakti, devotional service. And what's the goal of devotional service?
To go there.
Krishna. Develop love of Krishna.
To achieve Krishna consciousness.
Right? To develop love of Krishna.
Love of Krishna.
Okay.
That is.
So that's the whole point. So that's the ultimate goal. So Krishna is saying, yeah, I love you back. So I'm going to talk a little bit, we're getting very close to the end time. So I'm going to talk about a few of the qualities that I mentioned in this last 8 verses, and a pure devotee develops these. So a pure devotee is not envious of anybody.
Yeah.
He understands that Krishna is the ability in a person. Krishna is the strength of the strong. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita chapter 7, Krishna gives the skills to this person out of his own mercy. So therefore, it's Krishna's gift. Why should I be envious of this person? Similarly, he does not become his enemy's enemy. Somebody may say, I'm your enemy. The devotee says, I'm not yours. And his thought process is that this person is acting as my enemy due to my own past misdeeds. So it is better to suffer than to protest. Sorry, go ahead. Somebody saying? Okay. A pure devotee is never disturbed in any circumstances. A devotee in distress or in difficulty, this is what he thinks. This is Lord's mercy upon me. He's in trouble. He's in distress. He's saying, this is Lord's mercy. Thanks to my past misdeeds, my karmas, Actually, I should suffer far, far more than I'm suffering now. It is only His mercy that I'm not getting all the punishment I'm due. I'm just getting a little bit. This is Krishna's mercy. So when you're expecting this much and you get this much, it doesn't hurt so much psychologically. So as a result, the pure devotee is always calm, quiet, and patient, regardless of how many difficulties he is facing, how distressful the conditions are. My mother used to use a phrase. She would say, "एक भाला घुसने वाला था, पर एक सुई चुप के रह गई." Means I was about to be pierced by a spear, but I got pinched by a needle. So I just go, ouch, and that's it, done. It doesn't really hurt. That's the attitude of a devotee, therefore he's always quiet. A pure devotee also does not stop chanting or serving Krishna just because times are difficult. He keeps thanking Krishna. Like, thank you for saving me. Thank you for reminding me of my past misdeeds. And thank you for letting me serve you. And Krishna says, I love you so much. I want you with me now. A pure devotee also does not attach much importance to pains and troubles pertaining to the body, because he knows very well that he is not this body. He does not identify with the body. Therefore, he is equipoised, sane, in happiness and distress. He is tolerant, he is satisfied with whatever comes by the grace of Krishna. He does not endeavor much to achieve something with great difficulty. Therefore, he is always happy, joyful. And you know what? Nobody can talk him out of his determination to do devotional service.
You can just come and watch this.
He's fully conscious that Krishna is the eternal Lord. Krishna is my Lord under all circumstances. And a pure devotee is always kind to everybody, even to his enemy. He doesn't put other people into anxiety. On the other hand, or at the same time, I should say, if others try to put him into anxiety, he's not disturbed by the material circumstances, because his mind is so fixed on Krishna. He's so engrossed in Krishna consciousness. He's so engaged in devotional service. He doesn't feel these things. A materialistic person will become very happy when there's something for his sense gratification. But that materialistic person, when he sees others are having something that he doesn't have, then they become very envious. When a materialistic person is expecting some kind of retaliation from an enemy, they get in a state of fear. And when they cannot successfully execute something, they become dejected. But a devotee is above all this. These disturbances don't bother him, and that devotee becomes very dear to Krishna. It's not that the devotee will not accept money, by the way. If something comes to him by grace of Krishna, he takes it very happily. He doesn't have to struggle for it. But he will never endeavor for anything which is against the principles of devotional service. So, for example, he may get all this money, earn it, receive it as donation to construct a temple for the Lord. And for that, he may actually go out of his way, take all sorts of anxieties and troubles, etc., to get the money for the temple. But he will never do anything like that to construct a big house for his own personal use. A pure devotee is neither happy nor distressed over material gains or losses. Nor is he very much anxious to get a son or a disciple. Nor is he distressed by not getting them. If he loses anything which is very dear to him, he doesn't lament. If he does not get what he desires, he is not distressed. He renounces both auspicious and sinful activities, and is prepared to accept all kinds of risk for the satisfaction of Krishna. Nothing is an impediment in the discharge of devotional service. that devotee is very dear to Krishna. Finally, a pure devotee does not speak of anything but the topics about Krishna. Therefore, he's called silent. Silent doesn't mean that he doesn't speak. It just means he doesn't speak nonsense. He speaks only of essentials. And he knows that the most essential speech for him is to speak about Krishna. Speak for the sake of Krishna. There's a very famous verse of Srimad Bhagavatam which says that devotees automatically develop all the good qualities of demigods without trying separately for them. Simple engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service develops these qualities. On the other hand, a non-devotee has no good qualities because mind is always running after mundane things. So basically, two processes as defined by Krishna in this chapter. Both are very dear to Krishna and he'll accept either one. But he makes it very clear. And he says there should be no doubt in anybody's mind that devotional service to Krishna is the best of the two processes. It begins with, as Twinkle was saying, with hearing and chanting and observing the regulative principles of devotional service. Ultimately, those things lead to attachment and then to love of Krishna. Om Tat Sat. Questions, comments? A blank screen. Anybody wants to talk? And nobody takes my hint either. I mean, that's the amazing part.
Imperative to ensure that we are treated equally.
Questions, comments?
Light and shadow.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Once Krishna starts loving the devotees, again, will he start hating if we don't chant? I mean to say, like the love and hate relationship we were talking about, right? So will Krishna also does the same?
No. So Krishna says, I do not hate anybody. Even the demons whom he kills, he's very merciful to them. What happens to the demons he kills? You know? They get liberation. He gives them liberation. Even though the demons, they're coming here to kill him. He gives them liberation. He's very, very merciful. He does not hate anybody.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, he says that I do not love anybody, I do not hate anybody except my devotees, them I love. Otherwise, I'm neutral to everybody.
So
if you stop chanting, Krishna will not hate you. You just won't get the results of love of Krishna.
He will become neutral.
Yeah, that's right. Then you basically live by your karmas, whatever that is. It's like a judge. He'll send one person to jail, he'll set one person free. It doesn't mean he loves the person set free and hates the person set to jail. That was their karma. So Krishna is like that. Yes, Aarti. Your hand is up. Okay, anyway, anybody else? Okay, then I guess we stop. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the nice class.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Rani. Rani, any comments your first day today?
Sorry?
Did you have any comments? This is your first day today.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. Like I have few questions, but maybe I'm going to go through the chapter.
Okay.
Like I have the Bhagavad Gita, I'm holding it.
Uh-huh.
And maybe I'll just go through it. And if I have any questions, maybe in the next
Okay.
class, I
Good.
will.
Sure. That's
I'll
great.
ask.
That's
Yeah.
great. And welcome to the
Yeah.
program.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Thank you, everyone. Hare
Sorry,
Krishna.
Prabhuji.
Thank
Sorry,
you.
Prabhuji. My
Thank you,
son put
Prabhuji.
his thumb up.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry. What's that?
Oh, I was just saying thank you very much. I'm sorry, my son put the thumbs up.
Oh,
He
that's
had a
okay. Don't
thumbs
worry
up.
about that. That's fine.
Yeah, sorry.
That's fine. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.